Welcome back, guys. I've shared a little bit about this new project on Facebook. People are excited. They're ready to see it. So I'm ready to see it. Been wanting to do something like this for a while, and been looking for the perfect car. You know me, I'm always about cheap. Perfect car is cheap. Don't really care what kind it is, but the cheaper the better. Uglier the better. This car here, pretty ugly. I mean, it's pretty much just a throwaway car, but it has a title. If y'all know anything about me, you know that I like to drive my stuff on the street. So it has to have a title. What we're gonna do is try to get this thing running and see how fast we can go. Let me show y'all what I'm working with. I know, right? You're feeling it. I can tell you're feeling it. Yeah. 93 Geo Metro and a crate motor. We're gonna stuff a 460 big block in the Geo. Been wanting to do it for a while. Finally got me an engine. Went ahead and painted it up a little bit. Got it all looking nice and pretty. The car, not so much. Hopefully I'll take the time to, you know, spruce her up, make her look kind of nice whenever we get done. Probably not, but you know, the want to is always there. Whenever I get it to drive, the want to goes out the door, and all I want to do is drive it. She's a unit. She has been hit pretty hard. And when I say pretty hard, I mean somebody probably leaned up against it. You can see the old fender. She don't quite line up with the hood anymore. That's all right. Yeah, we got some busted headlights. You know, looks like somebody's been jumping up and down on the hood. Windshield's got a crack in it. See, what I think happened is the hood blew up, took the roof out because it has busted the hinges there. Not that that really matters. Our windshield's got a little crack there. This side, not too bad. Could use a little better window tint job there. The door panel on that side is missing because the door doesn't like to open and the windshield was off track, so we kind of rigged that back together. We got the headliner intact. Little dirty, little dirty. Somebody busted out the taillights in it. That's fine. I think the window did open. She's been siliconed shut. Oh, somebody done kissed it in the back there. Got the little flappers. This side, busted. All in all, pretty bad. I mean, yeah, it's pretty. But now, the heart. 460 cubic centimeters. I know what you're thinking. It's a little big for this car. I think it's gonna be perfect. Like I say, I have been wanting to do this for a while. I know of one other guy on YouTube, Robot Cantina, who has actually done a swap like this and driven his car on the street. I've been looking for that. Been looking for somebody that's actually done a swap with one of these engines or an engine similar and actually driven theirs on the street. He put, I think he said close to 500 miles on his Honda Insight with a Predator 212. Swapped in a 420, has gone with fuel injection and now a supercharger, and I think the car will run 70 mile an hour now. The car is, I think he said it's like 1,300 pounds. Pretty cool. This is not gonna be a nice build like his. Kudos to him for doing some really nice work. Yes, I'm kind of copying him, but not to the fullest. I'm using an engine that is not very popular because there's not many aftermarket parts out there for it. The Max Performance 459. It is electric start and pull start. The reason I went with this engine is because it has a pressurized oil system. And for what I'm wanting to do with this car, I'm thinking a pressurized oil system is going to be a little bit better as far as longevity for this engine. We are going to ditch the factory air box. Going to build an adapter, put an air filter on it to ditch the factory exhaust because we will tie in the factory Metro exhaust. So we will really need, need to rejet the carburetor. It came with jets, so I'm hoping that it's got the right ones for that. We're going to, I think, try to build about a 10 to 12 gallon fuel tank. If this thing will get 30 miles to the gallon, I'd like to go a few hundred miles on a tank of fuel. I don't remember what they said this one was. 1 gallon, 1.8 something, I don't remember. It's not enough, okay? It's just not gonna be enough. My plan, get this thing running, try to get this car under 1,000 pounds, without me in it, of course. I'm a little hefty, bringing it in at like 200 pounds. I mean, come on guys, it'd be nice, all right? Anyway, try to get it under 1,000 pounds, try to get it to 65 per hour. If it'll do that on this engine without you know, big performance mods, I think I'll be pretty happy. If it'll go anywhere between 60 and 65, we're going to drive this thing. I don't know where. I'm thinking 300, 400, 500 miles away and then turn around and come back. Anywhere from a 6 to 1,000 mile round trip. Why? I don't know. Just to see if we can do it. Will it be on the same engine? I just don't know. But that's the goal. It's dumb. This is just dumb. This car will be getting a 5-speed. This little bitty dude, here's our little bitty clutch hub there. We're running a 3/4 inch shaft, Comet Model 44 torque converter. Got our 7.5 inch pulley belt. This is a 10 or 11, 23 tooth. Got our idler. We got 50 series diamond chain. Got us some collars and our pillar block bearings. Similar to the Robot Cantina build. Like I say, hopefully I'm building this one lighter, getting it to run without a whole bunch of power mod. Now that we have all the parts, we can start fabbing everything up. Let's get to work. Okay, now the fun part, tear down. For about 2 hours worth of work, getting her down to race weight. Yeah, that whole front clip was mangled, which this is even mangled pretty good still, but now we got a nice clean slate to start. I'll come off of here and build just a little bit of a frame rail that'll hold engine mounts, and then our torque mount will be there, and then underneath of it. When you're putting a big block in one, you gotta have plenty of room. I think we're good on room. Well, I got my bell housing, faceplate, adapter, engine plate, whatever you want to call it, bolted to the engine. I wasn't too worried about getting this hole because there's only a 3/4 inch shaft that goes through there. That pillar block will bolt to the front. And so, I mean, we can center it up from there. No big issue there. Got my front end mocked back up on it, so we can kind of see where the fenders and bumpers are going to sit. This thing was hit pretty hard. I'll show you how far it's pushed in. This fender was riding right there from the factory. You can see the paint line. She was shoved over pretty far. We'll do some measuring from frame rail to frame rail, kind of get a distance set, so whenever I build the plate that the engine's going to set on, it'll come out here close to where we can build a mount off of it fairly easy. That's going to be the next order of business. Then we can start getting that mounted to that. I think we're mocked up pretty good. Time to start getting these things married together. This thing is sitting a little high, like a little lot high. Transmission, I think that's pretty much where it's got to sit. Pretty decent progress for this evening. 2 or 3 hours worth of work. Buddy of mine come over. I kind of get sidetracked whenever friends are over and, you know, just kind of talking, hanging out, that kind of thing. I work the best when I work by myself, trying to get into the mode of letting people help me, but it's a learning curve. Same thing with the YouTube. This is what we got. Got our clutch and pulley mocked up. I don't have the plate built for the motor yet, but here's the cradle. Of course, I built that and then had to cut that out. It's got supports down there, there, and there'll probably be another one that runs off of here to there. Up underneath here is how our sprockets are going to sit. This one's going to sit in that area. There's our input for our transmission. Big sprocket there. And then we'll have our idler that sets down in this area. I may have to trim this little plate here, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Got to have some machining done on my clutch hub, wherever it's at. Probably lost it. Great. For the 3/4 shaft to fit the clutch hub for the input shaft, I gotta have a collar machined, and then so we can weld those two together, the 3/4 shaft and the input shaft collar clutch hub. Get those welded together, and then I can come in here and build my inside brace for my other pillow block bearing, just like this one. We'll go up in here for this shaft here. We'll have our gear on it. I'm gonna try to put a pulley here and mount an alternator up here, so that way we can charge the car battery for the car electronics and all that, so everything on the car will work as far as all your headlights and all that stuff goes. May have jumped the gun on putting this in here. We'll see. All in all, pretty happy with today's progress. I think this thing's gonna turn out pretty cool. Turning cool. I need to go back to school, learn how to speak English. I don't know what I just said. So we had some decent progress on this thing 2 days ago. It's been a couple days. Today we're going to try to get this thing set up in the car and get some mounts built for it. I'm kind of at a standstill right now with this last little shaft in here. I have to get the 3/4 shaft mated to the clutch hub. I have the equipment at my disposal, but I don't have the knowledge to run it. We're waiting on my buddy Junior to get back. He had to go out of town. So when he gets back, he'll build me a collar for that so we can mate those two together. And then that will finish up engine to transmission connection there. Today we're going to work on getting us some kind of a frame rail run out here on both sides. Get us some engine mounts so that we can get the engine hung in there. The CV axles, I'm using the outer half of the Geo axles. And then the inner half, which the axles are apart right now, the inner half of the Daihatsu. And we'll build a sleeve and press fit those together and weld them up. You know, in fabrication work, people always say measure twice, cut once. I mean, I guess that's more of like a guideline than a rule, because, you know, professionals like us, you and I mean, because I know y'all are professionals. I mean, we'll measure maybe once on 2 or 3 different things. And I'm talking about just once on one thing, and then the other 2 we'll just guess at, and then you know, just throw it together and be sure to weld it all the way out good and solid, so that way when you got to cut it apart, you just put more work on yourself. We should really listen to ourselves. Got the engine set in there where it needs to be. Here's the issue I got. Here's CV axle. The hole for the CV axle is back here. Transmission's too far forward, which means the engine's too far back, which means this little cradle that I built, I welded it too far back. Nice. No problem. It's metal. We got welders, we got a torch, we got sawzalls, grinders, all that stuff. Idiot. That's all right. I'm not building a Barrett Jackson, you know, Cellar or a Riddler Award car. I mean, could be. Why couldn't this win the Riddler Award? Of course, because I messed up on the engine mount. The things we do to ourselves. Dang it. life, or well, I say man, in every fabricator's life, men, you know, we think we probably should read the instructions before we get too far into this, because let's be honest, we don't know everything. Whenever we were ordering these parts, I told my buddy, let's just get this certain belt for this measurement. Really wasn't sure what the measurement was for. Now I know. It's a good thing I haven't built this engine mount complete. So I bought this belt. The distance from here to here is supposed to be 10 1/16. Yeah, we're coming up about 1.5 inches short. Glad I checked all this, because I was just eyeballing the tension on the belt, figuring, well, if it rides on here a little bit, it won't be too bad. Not sure how much tension it should have, but you know, I was just going to kind of guess at it. Then I thought, why don't we just go ahead and read the instructions for this clutch and pulley setup, see if I'm actually doing it right. Yeah, I would. Now that I have a decent measurement, I'm going to go ahead and yank our tank and our muffler and our air filter box off so I can get this thing set up right and go ahead and get this engine mounted. Idiot! We got the engine sitting where we need it now. Just raised up a little bit. Got it scooted forward. We've got plenty of room here. We're actually going to build a different air filter inlet, have a tube come up, and then have the air filter mount up here somewhere. Maybe even do some kind of ram air style or something. I don't know. That even looks a lot better without all that stuff on it. The exhaust, we're going to come off of here, run it down, and tie into the factory exhaust right down there. Guess I got to build an engine plate now. Oh, it's been a day. We're gonna call it a night. You ever get to the point on a project and you're like, oh man, I should be done here a couple hours, and then it's actually like, no, it's probably another couple weeks. Seems like you're never gonna get to the end of it. We got the engine stripped all down. I built this engine plate, got it tacked in there. Went ahead, put the inner bumper support back in there so we'd have something to mount our bumper to. Started mocking up headlight buckets and everything. Try to get the front end of this thing put back together. I'm kind of at a standstill. I'm waiting on my spline shaft to be mated to the clutch spline shaft, so that I can actually get all this to run together. Also got exhaust flange and our airbox flange gonna be cut so that we can do an air intake on it. Back to the Geo, I don't know. We built our air intake flange and exhaust flanges. There's the exhaust flange. Looks really nice, fit really good. The intake, I was going to build this big cylinder and then have a piece of 3-inch pipe coming down and wrapping into it. And then I was going to weld sleeves in here with these sticking out. Then I realized it hits right there for our fuel shut off, which I didn't think, no big deal there, but can't work the choke. Just going to come in and cut this. No big deal. So this is what I come up with on our air intake. Got our down pipe started. It's just run to right there. And then I went ahead and built a throttle cable bracket. I'm going to extend off of here, tie our throttle pedal into it. Next thing is going to be figuring the gas tank out. Going to mount it over here to the side. Think it'll run okay whenever it's slap full of fuel, because our outlet will be just even with the carburetor. So I'm sure it'll run fine when it's full of fuel, but once it starts getting down low, it might not feed just right. Oh, picked up some badges for it. I think they're fitting. High performance 460. Yeah, I'm retarded. Morning, guys. I hadn't done a whole bunch of filming, just a whole bunch of working. Doesn't look like a bunch has changed. I feel like I'm pretty close. So we'll get you in here and show you what we've done. Fuel tank mounted. Got our throttle cable bracket hooked up. Got the factory throttle cable. Got our exhaust pipe done. Air intake to there done. I had to go build an adapter to go to an air filter. Put me a little filter on our valve cover there, so that just wasn't an open hole. This is the adapter that I built for our air filter. Piece of 3-inch pipe will go into this sleeve. This piece will weld there, and then that will weld to the end there. Came in with our little 1-inch angle iron, built our structure here, and I welded the factory front bumper support back in, tied it all into the frame. It's not super strong, but it'll work. There's our clutch hub, our machine piece to go to our 3/4 inch shaft. Fellas, ladies, so I hadn't been filming much. I've just been trying to get this thing done. It's mostly just boring work. Y'all kind of got the gist of how I set the engine, transmission, jack shaft, all of that stuff up. So I wasn't going to bore you with a whole bunch of little tedious work that needed to be done. But I wish y'all could have stopped me before I got to where I'm at, because yeah, I think I've got the bottom pulley on backwards. Can I pull this off and rotate it to put this on the opposite side. Will that work? Or am I gonna have to scoot the engine over, reset up my pulleys, probably rebuild mounts for my pillar block bearings? Guess I'm gonna lift it up so I don't have to be bent over, tear this thing apart, see if my fix will work. Oh, idiot! I'm learning the wrong ways to do this thing. I'll figure it out. Next time y'all see me making a mistake like that, why don't you stop me? Just to be like, hey, hello, hey, hold up, that's not gonna work. And then give me a little explanation as to why. I may listen, I may not, but at least y'all tried. Okay, somebody was right, I was wrong. That pulley is only gonna work one way. However, I thought I was gonna have to cut a bunch of stuff apart to get it to work. It's not the case. What I did is move my chain from this side to this side, and then all I have to do is rebuild my mount for this pillar block bearing here, trim this out so that I can slide the clutch over just a little bit more, get it lined up with the belt, and we're home free. We're ready to do burnouts. Maybe. Stay tuned. And come on, guys, the next time, let me know. I'm doing it wrong. Been a long day. I'm tired. My back is hurting because I'm old, but progress. A new setup. Move the chain to this side. Turn the pulley around. Got me a throttle return spring because for some reason my throttle cable's got friction in it. Battery's in there. Top notch hold down. I did come in here, pulled the switch off the top of the engine, rewired it to sit right there in the console, and then turbo boost. Put some nitrous on it, put like a 4-shot. And I did a little exhaust tip, sticks out a little far, but that's what the import guys are doing now, isn't it?
Fire in the hole.
Got it up in 3rd gear. This is 4th gear. here at Lance's place. Let's get out and check this out.
Did it, huh?
How's it going, man?
Good. I don't know if you can wipe this smile off my face right now. Wow. When you hear that thing going down the road, you know something's
Oh yeah. Somebody's lost on their lawnmower or something.
That's funny. Is it doing pretty good?
It does all right, yeah. About 45 is our top speed. I think I got my gearing a little off, but I didn't account for the tire size being so short. It could probably use a little bit smaller main gear, but
yeah,
I mean, it'll run down the road 45 and it's screaming pretty good, but if you back off of it and drop the RPMs down, it picks up speed really well. So I think a smaller gear, different gearing would help out a bunch and pick up the top speed for sure.
So it probably takes off pretty quick.
It does. It does really good. Yeah.
You just shift it in between, like letting off the gas, or?
Yeah, so I'll usually start in third gear, because it takes off pretty decent in third, and then shift it into fourth, and then I run it in fourth just a minute, and then put it in fifth, and then let it go. Yeah. It will actually take off in fifth, but once it's rolling, I mean it's you can take off in third and then put it straight in fifth and be fine.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's a nice little touch.
Yeah, you like that? Yeah. Well, I mean, it's got a 460 in it. You got to put the badges on it. Yeah, I'm from the 5.0 Mustang era days. You know, you got to display what you got.
Yeah, it still has the old purple tin on it.
Oh yeah, yeah. It might could use a retint job.
Yeah.
That, you know, the only way that you'd retint it is if you didn't want to be seen in public with it.
Right. And who wouldn't want to be seen in public?
Right. I mean, it's a Geo. So, yeah. Come on. Well.
Uh-oh.
First problem.
Being shy.
Hold that. There we go. Yeah. Hot rock. Got to do that.
That's funny, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Someone that didn't know what they were looking at might think this was supposed to be this way.
Well, it fits in there so nice.
Yeah. The cold air intake set up here.
Yeah, gotta have the big K and N, you know.
So how exactly, you've just got it running off of,
Yeah, so you got your CVT clutch down to your pulley, then a 10-tooth sprocket back to a 23 on the main shaft that goes into your transmission.
Mm-hmm.
So this is your clutch, and it's also a gear reduction too.
I gotcha.
So whenever this thing tightens up and that one opens up, you're at 1-to-1.
Mm-hmm.
But you're still geared down, well, so 2.3, 10 to 23s, yeah, so 2.3.
Yeah.
And then your transmission. So once everything is, say you're in fourth gear, 1-to-1, this is 1-to-1, you're still 2.3 reduction. Yeah. Math.
So a bigger sprocket would probably make it go a little faster top speed.
Yeah, so a smaller sprocket here would be what you want to change.
I gotcha.
Yeah, go to a smaller sprocket there.
Yeah.
And then that would speed everything up.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm 6'5" and I'm still
Yeah. Very sleek, keeping everything under the hood.
Oh yeah. We're even with the transmission on the bottom, so nothing really hanging down.
Obviously this is like, you know, Harbor Freight's pride and joy, but what is that? This is a 460. What does that cost brand new?
It's $500.
$500?
Yeah. Yeah, so if you're out cruising, you blow a motor up, just swing into Harbor Freight real quick. You got 4 bolts, a clutch, and your exhaust, and there you go.
And get that extended warranty on your engine.
Yeah, so in the next 100 miles, when you blow another one up, there you go.
Right.
Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Super simple.
Yeah. So I guess no really charging system on it right now, huh? Just
other than just the engine does have a stator in it, so that's about the charging systems. We run a little lawnmower battery on it, and you know, I figure daytime driving you may use the blinkers or the brake lights, and that'd be about it.
Yeah.
And then tied into the factory exhaust there, and it runs all the way out the back of the car.
Oh, you got it ran all the way out the back?
Yeah. Once you ease around back there and see how it sounds.
Oh, I heard you coming up. That's funny. Good grief. I was burning on the ground. Oh my gosh. You already knew I was interested in this thing. Wow. You look like Back to the Future back here, burning on the ground. Good grief. I seen it, I was like, why is it, you know, kind of curled up like that? But kind of explains
you know,
now.
So over in like China and Japan and all that, you know, you see them custom vans and they got the exhaust run way up. Well, I just did the American style, just not so long.
Yeah.
You know, still run up, but just not as long. But then that extra added Lance Bush touch.
Man.
So it does have a heater.
Now, you'd have to drive backwards to get it though.
Too cool, man. Tell me you're not too attached to this thing that you wouldn't be interested in selling it possibly.
Selling it? Wow. I've never really built something that was dumb and actually wanted to actually had somebody wanting to buy it.
Well, for some reason, I'm that guy that buys all the dumb stuff, I think.
Yeah? No, I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff here.
Yeah, this is cool too, though. This falls right in the book of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, she's all factory interior.
Nice headliner. Clean in there, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't realize I was coming to be a salesman or anything, so otherwise I'd have done a good detail job on it. But
I'm assuming that brakes, all that stuff work on it?
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cruise control, I can't get it to work. Had to ditch the power steering.
I don't think it'd be too hard to rig up cruise on this thing.
Just put you a cable on it, just pull it.
But I just don't know if you'd want any rigging on this car.
Yeah, I mean, she's pristine, all original, so.
No, I would be interested, man. I know that this is something you just finished up, but if you're ever in the future think about possibly getting rid of it, I think I might be your guy.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm not in love with it. And when Junior and I first set out to build this thing, of course, we wasn't building it for sale.
Yeah.
We wasn't real sure what we were building it for, but just because.
Right.
But I mean, I will sell it.
Yes, sir.
Have you determined what the gas mileage is on it yet?
Not yet. I haven't gotten that many mileage yet. That much miles in.
Right. It's got to be pretty decent, I would think.
You know, so get the gearing right. I mean, it's got to be between 30 and 40.
Yeah, I would think probably even better than that. But
Maybe. Yeah, this thing was in rough shape. You can see some damage over here. This
oh, I'm
whole
seeing
thing,
it. It's
yeah, it was folded over real bad.
I see price dropping. Keep going, keep going.
Oh yeah.
You point out all the imperfections.
That's where the deal is. So now you've got a custom fabricated tubular front end versus the factory stuff. And I mean, I didn't bring it up here to sell.
Right. That's right. For sale, not on sale.
There you go. That's one of those, what I'm willing to take and what you're willing to give.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. This one's kind of hard to throw a number at. I'd give you $2,000 for the car. You can walk home.
Junior, you feel like walking home? Yeah. Well, I mean, I brought my good shoes today, so I guess I'm walking home.
2,000?
Yeah.
Works for you, works for me. I'd run up to the grab some cash real quick.
Sounds like a plan to me.
It won't take me long.
All
I'll be right back. Cool.
That kind of works out for me too, so then I don't have to figure out the rest of it as far as getting the gearing right and that kind of thing. That can be your headache.
Oh, I thought that come with you.
Yeah, that probably wasn't the best decision ever.